Morning. Let me share my screen. Is my screen is visible? Okay. So today we'll study Castiglione theorem. Okay. Castiglione theorem. So the basic definition of this theorem. Earlier we have studied column stability, right? Column stability, different conditions for the stability, and we went through numerical. Now today we'll study the new theorem, which is called as Castiglione theorem. So what is the need of this theorem? It is used to determine the deflection of beams. Okay, determining the deflection of beams typically requires repeated integration of singularity functions. When you need to find a deflection of a beam, it requires a multiple integration of a function. Okay, so this theorem let us use strain energies at the location of forces to determine the various deflections. Right, earlier we have studied the deflection of beams and all. Now this is one more theorem. We can find the deflections of beams. The theorem, this theorem also allows for the determining of deflections for objects with changing cross-section area. In slope and deflection method, we have used a single same cross-section beam. Let me note. There, when we studied that the whole cross section of the beam was same, right? If it is here 400 mm by 300 mm, here also this was by 400 by 300 mm. But this theorem is also allowed if your beam is irregular in shape. That means your cross sectional area is changing, like this one, then this one. Okay. If you have a beam of different cross section area, you can use this theorem to find the deflection at various cross sections. So the basic, if this gives us the deflection it will be a partial derivative of your the total energy divided by the force applied. One second. Okay. So it's it says that the deflection we can get by the partial derivative of the strain energy divided by the derivation of force at that certain position. So let me take an example of a beam. Okay, a simply supported beam. Suppose this is a simply supported beam. I'm applying some load. Consider this one P1, this one is P2, and suppose this one is Pn. This is Pn, this is P1, this is P2. Due to this load, your beam has been deflected. Okay. Now consider this one as Y1, the deflection due to P1 load as Y1. Deflection due to P2 is as Y2, and deflection due to Pn is Yn. Okay. So let's take this P1 load. Due to this deflection, this is the load versus deflection. Okay. This load was, if you plot this in graphical manner, this will give you a straight curve. Okay. This is due to P1. Again, for the P2 load, for the next load, if you plot a load versus deflection curve, it will give you a straight curve. And if I draw a line, this will be your x2. So if I need to find the area of this part, it will be half base into this height, P1. Right? Again for this one, it will be half base into height. So if you sum up all these energies, this U will be your strain energy. It will be the summation of this area like till half x p1 plus half x1 p1 x2 p2 plus half xn p1 till there will be many more values till xn p1. So this strain energy is the sum of all the areas of these triangles. That means in the short term, the, the in the simplest way, it will be the summation of all the energies on those on that beam. Okay, it is a sum of all the energies on that beam due to those loads. So the partial derivative of that energy, suppose I'm taking this one P1 load, and I need to find what will be the deflection due to this P1. So your deflection, as per this theorem, the deflection will be partial derivative of this partial derivative of strain energy due to this load divided by the partial derivative of that load, where delta is the deflection, U is the strain energy, and P is the force at a certain point. That means at this, if I'm considering this point to this point. Now variations. You can take the variation for the same. Different loading conditions require different strain energy. Okay. So for axial loading, the strain energy will be integration of from 0 to L. That means along the length of the beam, P square dx by twice of EA. Where your P is the load, E is the Young's modulus of the material, which is either represented in GPa or KSI, and A is the cross sectional area of this beam, and L is the length of the beam. Okay. Now this was for axial loading. This this is the formula for strain energy for when your structure is is experiencing a axial load. Okay. Now this is for a material in bending. When the same material will experience a bending, then your strain energy will have a formula of m square dx by 2EI, and the integration will be from 0 to L, where m is the moment applied and I is the area moment of inertia. Please mute. Roll number 82, please mute yourself. For a material in torsion, if your material is experiencing a torsion, please mute yourself. Okay. If your material is experiencing a torsion, so your strain energy will become this one, T squared dx by 2gj, where T is the torque applied, G is the modulus of rigidity, and J is the polar moment of inertia. So you've got I, moment of inertia. Now also go through the polar moment. What is polar moment of inertia and how to find the polar moment of inertia? Okay. Note, there is an important point, except for the Young's modulus and modulus of rigidity. That means E and G, it is not guaranteed that the other variables are not function of X. Okay, these will E and G will be the function of X, but it is not guaranteed that other variables are not function of X. So if I go through, I have changed my screen. Let me know if it is visible or not. If you as per this theorem, okay, as per this theorem, for a linearly elastic structure, so you can also say that this Castellini's first theorem is also applicable to your linearly elastic structure, where external force only causes deformation. When you apply a load, it will only cause a deformation. The complementary energy is equal to the strain energy. Okay, the complementary energy will be equal to strain energy in that structure. For such structure, the Castellani's first theorem may be stated partial derivative of the strain energy of the structure with respect to any particular force gives the displacement of the point of application of that force in the direction of its line of action. That means, in the simple words, it says that the deflection at certain points will be the partial derivative of strain energy divided by the load at that point. See, this is the example they have taken. This will be your simply supported beam. Okay, this will be a simply supported beam with various point loads. When you apply a load, it will get deflected and it will produce a energy U1, U2, Un. Okay, so now this P1 is at a distance of x1, this P2 is at a distance of x2, this Pn is at a distance of xn, and the L is the whole length of the beam. So let P1, P2, Pn be the forces acting at x1, x2 and xn from the left side on a simply supported beam of span L. Okay. P1 to from P1 to Pn are the forces which is acting at a distance from x1 to xn in the on a simply supported beam of span L. Okay. And your U1, U2, these are the displacements at the loading point. So these we have represented deflection here by U. Okay. You can represent it by Y also, as we have taken Y in earlier classes, so you can take Y also. So these are the deflection due to the load. Okay. Due to P1, P2 and P1. Now assume that the material obeys Hooke's law. So what Hooke's law says? Hooke's law says that Hooke's law says that if you see from the stress strain diagram, this is the stress strain diagram. Hooke's law it is applicable to this elastic limit only, right? It says that when you apply a load, it will get deflected, but when you remove the load, it will come back to its original position. Okay, the material is in elastic limit, right? So we are assuming that the material obeys Hooke's law and invoking the principle of superposition. The work done by the external forces is given by the work done. You can find the work done in the same way if you take this one as triangle. So consider this one as triangle. What will be the distance? X1 is the distance, height is your Y1. You can take the area of the triangle as half. Base is your X1. Height is your U1. Right? So this is the work done. So they have taken the summation. The work done by the external forces is given by half P1 U1, half P2 U2, like this, till half Pn U1. Work done by the external forces is stored in a structure as strain energy. So this work done is stored in a structure as your strain energy in a conservative system. Hence the strain energy of the structure is, so when you sum up all the work done, you will get a strain energy on that structure. Displacement U1 0.1 is due to the action of P1 till P1. Okay, so you are seeing the displacement at U1, right? The displacement at P1 at this position. The displacement of this U1 due to this P1 is basically due to all the loads. Okay, I repeat that deflection you are getting at this point. See, the deflection you are getting at this point is U1. This is due to all the forces. Okay. So displacement U1 0.1 is due to the action of P1, P2 till Pn acting at a distance of x1, x2 till x1 and n respectively from the left support. And U1 may be expressed as, so U1 can be expressed as A11 P1 plus A12 P2 plus A1n Pn. Or in general you can write, like this, where Aij is the flexibility coefficient in I due to unit force applied at J. When you solve this, you will get the final. Hence for determining structure within linear elastic range, the partial derivative of the total energy, strain energy with respect to any external load is equal to the displacement of that point of application of load the direction of the applied load. Okay. So this is your Castiglione theorem, that your deflection will be partial. This is the main equation of this Castiglione theorem, that your deflection will be partial derivative of strain energy of the structure divided by partial derivative of that load. Okay. In the next class, we'll see the numericals. Okay, we'll do some examples on this based on this method. So, any confusion so far? We can solve one numerical based on this. Okay, we'll see this example. This one. Find the displacement and slope at the tip of a cantilever beam loaded as in figure 2.2. That means this one. Assume the flexural rigidity of the beam EI to be constant for the beam. So EI is constant throughout the beam. So please respond any confusion in the theorem. We'll explain one more. Type in the chat box. You can type in the chat box also. Any confusion? What about the others? Only Nanu is replying. Castiglione's theorem says that your the deflection at any point, okay, deflection at any point, you can take if deflection at any point in a structure in a beam, you can say it is a partial derivative of the strain energy of that at that point divided by the load at that point. Okay. There are so many students, only 34 students. Only 2 are replying. What about the others? Okay. See, this equation is asking that find the displacement and slope at the tip of a cantilever beam. So you need to find the displacement and slope at this point. Okay. And asking assume the flexibility of the beam EI to be constant throughout the beam. So this is the cantilever beam supported at A and B. A is 3 and B is 6. And the load is applied at the 3 end, which is C. So I have taken a section at x distance. Okay. Movement at any section at a distance x away from the free end is given by. So I hope this point is not need to be discussed, that because you know about this, right? So what is the formula for movement? It is force into distance, right? So P is my force, x is my distance. So movement is just P into distance. Strain energy stored in the beam due to bending is, as we have studied, I've shown you on PPT, right? The strain energy due to bending will be 0 to L m square 2E at dx. Okay, so I have to replace this formula, this m with minus Px. So substituting the expression for bending moment in equation 3. Okay, it is like the same slope and deflection numericals we have studied earlier, right? So first you need to find the moment equation for this beam, and now you have to replace that moment equation in the strain energy equation. So strain energy equation due to bending is this one. So I have replaced the m value here by minus Px. Okay. and I have then I have integrated this one with 0 to L. So after integrating, I'm getting U as C square L cube by 6 EI. Now, according to Castigliano's theorem, the first partial derivative of strain energy with respect to external force P gives the deflection at A in the direction of the applied force. Okay, as per this theorem, du by dp will give us a deflection. So if you derive it again, if you if you derive this one, you will get PL cube by 3EI. Okay, so this is my deflection. When you derive it with respect to p once, you will get a deflection, and this is my deflection. Now to find the slope at the free end, we need to differentiate strain energy with respect to externally applied moment m at A. As there is no movement at A, apply a fictitious moment m naught at A. So see, at A, if you see A, there is no movement. Okay, movement will be at fixed end. There will be no movement at free end. So I am applying a fictitious movement m naught. Okay, because to find the slope, I need m naught. So read this line. To find the slope at free end, we need to differentiate strain energy with respect to externally applied movement at A. And we know at A there is no movement. So we'll apply a fictitious movement of m naught at A. Now, movement at any section at a distance x away from the free end is given by. Now, earlier your movement equations was m equals to minus cx. Now, you have another movement which is fixation movement. So, this will be my new movement equation. Now, strain energy stored in a beam may be calculated as this one. So, if I partial derivative x, I'll get this one. But as there is no movement, so I will not consider this part. So my slope will be only PL square by 2EI. Okay. So this is how you have to solve. Solve the slope equation, slope deflection equation by Castigliano's theorem like this. You should know the strain energy formula for different conditions, for bending, for torque. Okay, as we have discussed here. For torsion, this will be your strain energy. For bending, this will be your strain energy m square dx by 2EI. And this will be the general strain energy equation for loading. Okay. So once you know the strain energy equation, you can place in place of movement, and you can find out your deflections and slope. Okay. Okay, this was for circle. This one will be. Let me see another example. You can see. Okay, this one is for frame. Frame we have not studied, right? So see, these are the various structures. Okay, in various type of structure. This is the frame structure. Okay, this one is a frame structure. This one is the arc structure. Right? You can use this theorem to find a deflection for various type of structure. This is a frame structure. This is another. See, one there is one horizontal member and one vertical member. Again, this is another type of structure. So if you see the so there are two Castigliano's theorem, 1 and 2. So second theorem says that in an elastic structure having n independent displacement u1 to un corresponding to external force along their lines of action, if strain energy is expressed in terms of displacement, if strain energy is expressed in terms of displacement, then an equilibrium equations may be written as follows. This may be proved as this one. So the first theorem says that your partial derivative of you will get the deflection equals to you will get the deflection when you do the partial derivative of your strain energy and your load. But as per this theorem, it says that we can find the deflection with having an independent displacement corresponding to external force along the line of action if strain energy is expressed in terms of displacement. So you can express your strain energy in terms of displacement also, like this. So this will be, you can express the strain energy in terms of displacement. Earlier you have expressed the strain energy in terms of load, right? It was du by dt equals to deflection. Now you can express, as per second theorem, you can express your strain energy in terms of displacement also. Okay. So as per this, the summary, Castiglione's first theorem has been stated and proved for linearly elastic structures. The procedure to calculate deflection of a statically determinate structure at the point of application of load is illustrated. Okay, we have seen one simple example. We will not go for complicated examples because we will get this in your higher classes. So the first simple structure, what we did, we have found out the moment equation for that beam at some location. Then we have replaced that moment equation in your strain energy equation. Then we have derived that strain energy equation with respect to P. We got deflection. Then to find the slope, we need a movement at the free end. So we don't have any movement, so we applied a imaginary movement, which is also known as fixed wave movement. And we have placed that moment equation again in the strain energy to find out the slope. So we got this equation. As we know, there is no actual movement, so we will not consider this part. So we got the slope also. Okay. So this much for this class. You can write your roll numbers in the chat box. Please write your roll numbers in the chat box.
और लिखना चाहिए जर्नल लगा प्राण है वो ने लिखी उसके मुझे नंबर का जुड़े
Anyone left to write their roll numbers? When will our university reopen? I don't know about students. Officially, college will open on 2nd of November. But for students, I don't know. You get the notification. I will let you know if I get any info. Anyone left to write their roll number? Listen, 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 Elzar, Felicita, Ron, okay. Anyone left? Make sure was the last. Okay. So after some time, after 10 to 15 minutes, I'll update the assignment in the Google Classroom, so you can download and submit before time. Okay. And next class we'll study about pain. So whatever the topics we have discussed so far, please go through that. So in the last three classes, we have discussed the main the stability of the column, right? So go through that. And if you have any confusion, you can ask. In today's class or in the other classes. I'll share the notes also. So we can go through the notes for the column, do the numericals. Voice is not clear. Okay, do the numericals. Okay, we have I have given you some numericals, right? So please do that numericals also. Anyways, thank you. Let's meet next week with new topic. Okay, thank you.